This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everybody, this is Reagan Laughlin with RL Real Estate Group and eXp Realty. Today I'm going to show you how you can gain leads from Pinterest directly from your website. So what I'm going to show you, first of all, I need to show you my screen. So I have a Pinterest business account and it's free called Sioux Falls Real Estate. You can see the number of followers that I have here, 366 followers, and I am following 1,024 people. This is what your dashboard or the front end looks like of your Pinterest account. If I want to just view my profile as I'm viewing it as you would see it, this is what it would look like for you. So now, the question is, what are we going to pin on our Pinterest account or our Pinterest boards relative to our business? One thing that I am working on within my website for lead generation to be more hyper-local and more hyper-local sensitive to my area, which is Sioux Falls, South Dakota, is I have been doing a lot of blogging on different things regarding or related to Sioux Falls. So for instance, if I go to my website and I have a button called Local Resources, I'm going to click on this button and you can see all of my different blog posts that I have that are all hyper-local or specific to Sioux Falls and the Sioux Falls area. So the one that I'm going to focus on today and create a board on is Sioux Falls Parks from A to Z. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the link, which is going to take me to my blog post that talks about Sioux Falls Parks from A to Z. Now you can see within this blog post, I have several of the different parks in Sioux Falls listed. And you can see that they are linkable or clickable. So for instance, if I wanted to even drill down further on my Pinterest boards, I could create a board for each and every individual park that I have listed here on my website. But for this video, what I'm going to show you is just one board that I'm using and going to create for Sioux Falls Parks from A to Z. So it's just going to be one general board, but I could, again, like I said, make individual boards or additional boards for each individual park in Sioux Falls. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to hop back over to Pinterest. And I am going to click the plus sign here because I want to create my board. And then I'll click Create Board. And I'm going to name my board the same name as my blog post. So that is Sioux Falls Parks A-Z. And I want to name that exactly the same as my blog post title because that will help you in your SEO rankings and search rankings within Google. So we want to keep everything consistent. Now, I could keep this board secret if I didn't want others to see it or follow it, but this is for my business, so I definitely want people to see it. So the next thing I'm going to do is click the Create button. And then it's going to pop up some different pins that Pinterest thinks would be relative to your board that you just created. Nothing here is anything that I want to pin to the board, so I'm going to just click Done. So now we have our title, which you can see here, Sioux Falls Parks A to Z. And the next thing that I want to do is create a pin. And the pin is actually going to be everything that's within my blog post. So what that means is I am going to go back to my blog post and I am going to decide what I want my title to be. And I think what I will title this board, or excuse me, this pin is going to be Learn more about the Sioux Falls, learn more about Sioux Falls, South Dakota parks. Okay, and that's going to be my title. And notice that I am including part of the title in this title, meaning I have used Sioux Falls within the title along with parks. And both of those words are actually in the title of my blog post. Again, you want to be consistent. So then what I'm going to do is write a little description about this pin and what it is. So I am going to simply copy and paste this little blurb, which is kind of just a summary about the post itself, and I'm going to use this um, for the summary. And notice that it says your first 50 characters are what usually shows up in the feeds. So it's fine if you want to have more words than 50 or more than 50 characters, but just know the first 50 characters are the most important because that's what's going to show up in the Pinterest feed when somebody goes to this. Obviously, they can click on more to see more of the summary. Then the next thing that I want to do is I want to connect this pin to my website directly. And how I do that is go back to the post and I click on the URL at the top of the page. Then I'm going to click copy, and then I'm going to go back to Pinterest and I'm going to add the destination link. So obviously you want to be able to send your users somewhere. Otherwise, this is literally all they're going to see besides a picture that we're going to create here in just a minute. It's kind of hard right now to see my title, or excuse me, my link, but it is there. So the next thing that we need to complete is our picture that we want to create for Pinterest for this particular board and pin. So how I create all my pictures for Pinterest, and I create a lot of other social media graphics directly from canva.com. And this is a free account that you can set up at canva.com. And this is where I create all my graphics. I mean, from social media graphics to graphics for my website, graphics for an event. There's a lot of different things that you can use Canva for. So on the left-hand side, what I'm going to do is click Create a Design. And what I want to do is obviously create a design for Pinterest. So what's really cool about Canva is they have these templates all ready for you for different social media outlets. So we don't have to figure out, what the dimensions are of our graphic or anything like that. So we will click on Pinterest graphic. Then it's going to open up and you will see this is the format that we need here for Pinterest. So it's automatically done for you, which is awesome. One thing to keep in mind with Pinterest, what I have learned from my coaches and mentors when teaching about Pinterest is they suggest to keep kind of a general theme for your Pinterest graphics, meaning to try to stick with the same type of graphic or the same type of design for each of your Pinterest pins that you're creating. So for today's purpose, I'm going to just pick one that I think that I will like. And if you want to change up the different colors in these graphics, you can do that too. So I kind of like this one. And what I'm going to do is try to, so what I just did there, sorry, is I just clicked on that graphic and drag it just right over into the template. And this is what it looks like so far. So let's say I don't want, this post is going to be, or the post is about parks. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to click on photos and I'm going to see if I can find a picture of a park. And here we go. There's lots of different pictures of parks that are really pretty, actually. And so I think what I will do is use this one. And notice when I click on this picture, I'm trying to point, I guess, with my finger, which you can't see that, but in the bottom right-hand corner of the picture, it says it's free, which is great. So I want a free image. And this is, really similar to a park that you would see in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm certainly not going to choose a park that's filled with palm trees for Sioux Falls, South Dakota, because it doesn't make sense. So then what I'm going to do here is, so I like the picture of the park. So that's perfect. So again, what I did is I dragged, and dropped the picture just right over into the template. Then I see down here is where I can change the content or the writing. So what I'm going to do is type in RL Real Estate Group, brokered by eXp Realty, because it's important as you brand yourself to make sure that you are adding your brand and the name of your brokerage or the name of your group. You want to make sure that you add that into, any of your graphics that you're creating for social media. So I'll say RL Real Estate Group, brokered by eXp. And if I wanted to change the font, let's say I didn't love that font, you can click here and you could change the font if you wanted to. And they have all different kinds of fonts to choose from. And let's see, I'm going to change it to that, and I don't like that. It doesn't look very professional, but maybe this one would be better. Sure, I like that. Okay, so then I am going to name this graphic, or I'm going to change the spring to Sioux Falls Parks. Now, again, you can see that's a different font and a different size. So I'm going to want to change the size so it fits in the box appropriately. So I'm going to change, okay, that was 48. Let's see what 88 does. I kind of want it all on one line. Let's change the graphic, or let's change the font. Okay, definitely not that one. How about, no, that's kind of boring. Nope. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go back up and see if there's other ones here that I like. Okay, I like that one. So I'm going to try to stretch this out a little bit. Again, I think I want this all on one line. Well, maybe not. Sioux Falls Parks. There we go. So I'm going to bring this down just a little bit because I want to make sure that that's centered. And if you can see as I try to center this, there is a pink line that appears. That pink line tells you that you're now centered. And then if I go this way or that way, there's the pink line. So now I've got the pink line going up and down and to the side, so I know that this is centered. Okay, so sorry that took a little bit longer than I wanted, but I wanted to get my graphics right and my fonts right. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the down arrow here to download the image, and it's going to download into a PNG file, which is perfect for uploading to social media. And then you can see that right here is my PNG file that just downloaded in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. So then you guys, we're going to go back to Pinterest, and then I'm going to simply grab this file in the bottom left-hand corner, and I'm going to drag and drop. Ta-da! So now I have done everything that I needed to do And the Pinterest graphic looks great because it's sized correctly for Pinterest. And then you guys, all I'm going to do is click save. And then I'm going to click to see it now. And there it is. So notice a few things here. If I hover over this picture, look at where it takes me to. So I'm going to click on the link to make sure it's linking correctly to my blog post. And it definitely is. There it is. Okay, so then the other thing that I want to make note of is my title, Learn More About Sioux Falls, South Dakota Parks. Then they could also go to my website here or go to the link here. And then you can see that I have approximately 50 characters where this just gives a little bit of summary. So this is how you create a Pinterest board and pins for that board. Now we're going to go to view profile so you can actually see what it looks like on the user's end. So here we go, Sioux Falls Parks A to Z. So there's obviously more room on this board to create more pins. And if you're going to do this, I would really encourage you to make sure that you're going to fill up this board as soon as possible. Because to see these different boards that are empty doesn't look very professional on your site. So I would encourage you to go back and create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boards. So then when people see, when they go to your dashboard and they're viewing your Pinterest account, they're going to see full boards, as you can see below here. Okay? If you have any questions, feel free to always reach out to me at rlrealestategroup.com. You can find me on Facebook at rlrealestategroup.com, or you could always send me an email at reagan@rlrealestategroup.com. I hope you find this video helpful. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.